And the game ends Arsenal 1, Burnley nil at the Emirates. Listen, man, Arsenal has one hand on the title. Arsenal has one hand on the title. One more game left against Crystal Palace, you know. And if Arsenal wins that game, it doesn't matter if Manchester City beats um, Bournemouth or Aston Villa 100-0, 100-0. It wouldn't matter. If Arsenal win their next game, which is the last game against Crystal Palace, Arsenal are officially crowned champions of England. Fantastic. Now, speaking on this game, right? Another 1-0, um, another 1-0 defeat by Arsenal. How do I feel? This 1-0 win that Arsenal is doing, it is very, very somehow. At the end of the day, what is important is the 3 points. What is important is the 3 points. A lot of Arsenal fans are still kind of bothered, and that is because just in case anything crazy happens, right? Arsenal at least has enough goal difference push still push them over the line. That is why some Arsenal fans are still, they still have half of their bombs seated on half of the chair. They are still not convinced per se. Just in case anything happens, let's say against Crystal Palace, and Arsenal has the only thing to save Arsenal is goal difference. At least we have goal difference to still help us carry the league. That is why a lot of Arsenal fans are still apprehensive, kind of. However, for me, as much as I would like it to be a 3-0 win, I would like it to be a 5-0 win, a 100-0 win. I will take this. I'll take what I can get, because the most important thing is the 3 points. Now, the challenge is back on City. It is back on City. City face Bournemouth tomorrow, a Bournemouth team that has really been on form. They have really been on form so far. There's a statistic I heard that they haven't lost um like more than 10 home games in their recent form or something like that. Basically, they have been on good form. They have really been on good form. They have guys like Evan Nielsen, Krupi, guys that are doing really well. So Bournemouth will not be they will not be an easy game. It will not be an easy game. So tomorrow is a very pivotal match for Manchester City and actually for Arsenal, because if Manchester City lose that game, Arsenal are officially crowned champions. If Manchester City even go as far as drawing the game, Arsenal are still officially crowned champions. So, and again, for Bournemouth, it's an important game for them, because if they win the game, they have an opportunity to make it into Europe. So, and I'm sure that they will be dying to play in Europe. I think they have the opportunity to make it into the Champions League or something like that. So I'm sure it is something that their fans will be looking forward to. It's something that their management will be looking forward to. It's something that the players, will be looking forward to. So there's a lot at stake um, in that game for Bournemouth as well. So they are definitely, hopefully, they come and you know cause an upset. They come and cause an upset tomorrow. Again, Manchester City, you cannot bank on all these small teams at the end of the day. That is one thing. You cannot bank on all these small teams, because the same thing against Everton. Everton were leading. They had the 3 goal lead, and they couldn't even maintain it. So, in my opinion, small teams will always be small teams. That is why they do not achieve anything. You cannot really bank anything on all these useless small teams. They will disappoint you. The only thing you can bank on is yourself. All Arsenal has to do is do their job, which Arsenal has been doing. And the game today, 1-0, from a corner kick. Funny enough, I cannot remember the last time I saw Arsenal score from a corner kick. At the beginning of the season, through the middle of the season, Arsenal were scoring a lot of corner corner kick goals, a lot of goals from corner, to the point that people have even coined the term, or rival fans have coined the term, corner, what they call it, corner FC or set piece FC. If he is, he run am now. If he is, he run am. If you are that mad that Arsenal are scoring corner kicks, why don't you go and score your own? Why don't you go and score your own? So very fantastic, man. Arsenal got a goal from corner today by Kai Havertz. When I saw the lineup at the beginning of the game, I wasn't happy. I would not lie, because I do not have trust in Kai Havertz. I do not have trust in Kai Havertz, and you saw during the game that this guy almost put Arsenal in trouble with some useless tackle. That, honestly, that tackle was a red card. That was a red card. I don't know how he didn't get the red card, but that was a red card tackle. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know how he didn't get a red card, but he was lucky. And that's the thing about Kai Havertz. That is why, even if he scored a hat trick in this game, I do not rate him. I don't rate him, and it just is what it is. However, he came in clutch. Is the reason why Arsenal leaves this game with a goal. Arsenal had a lot of chances. Watching this game from the first half, Arsenal had a lot of chances. Arsenal could have easily killed this game in the first half alone. In the first half alone, all these 1-1 nil, 1-0. Yeah, so it is helping us, where Arsenal actually has one hand on the title now, not even one hand and one and two fingers of the other hand on the title. So thank God that this game, Arsenal left with the 3 points at the end of the day, because it would have been a travesty if Arsenal drew this game. It would have been a travesty if Arsenal drew this game, because trust me, Manchester City still kind of believe that um they still have a chance to win the league. You know, news broke out today that Pep Guardiola will be leaving at the end of the season. I will do a separate video on that. However, because of that, they would want to end the season strongly. They've already won two domestic League Cups already. They would want to end it with a domestic treble. So I'm sure they were hoping for Arsenal to lose this game. Um, but Arsenal has won. They have a game against Bournemouth. I don't, hopefully that game ends in a Bournemouth win or ends in a draw. But if it doesn't, because I cannot, like I said, you can't bank on any of these small teams to help you with anything. So if City go all out and win the game against Bournemouth tomorrow, Arsenal still has to win their game against Crystal Palace, and that would be basically taking the what's it called? That would be taking the, the competition to the final game of the season, because Arsenal will have to play Crystal Palace. And yes, Crystal Palace I think 3 days after that game, they'll be playing their final. They're in Europe, in a European final, so they would want to rest important players. However, who knows? Who knows? Do you understand? Imagine, as Manchester City beats Bournemouth tomorrow, and then it is left to the last game of the season, and something crazy happens. Something crazy happens. Arsenal loses that game against Crystal Palace or draws. Then Manchester City have their last game against Aston Villa, and Manchester City wins. Like, see what happened to Hearts in the Scottish Premier League. Look at what happened to Hearts. The final game of the season, they lost to Celtic, and Celtic won the Scottish Premier League. So anything can happen. It is not done yet. It is not done. So hopefully Bournemouth does it for us now tomorrow. But again, you cannot bank on these small teams. But as it stands now, Arsenal have one hand on the title. A 1-0 win. 3 points is the most important thing. So big ups Arsenal. One step closer. Let's go Gunners. And big ups to Declan Rice today. Special shout outs to Declan Rice today. He was fantastic today. Declan Rice was fantastic today, especially doing a lot of defensive work, last ditch tackles and everything. He's my man of the match today. Eze did not really do anything. Eze was quiet. Another quiet day for Eze. Um, Martin Odegaard was decent today. Sometimes he was. You know how Odegaard is always overdoing things. Simple passes, this guy will overdo it, but he was all right today as well. Calafiori had a good game today. Mascara had a decent game today. Aside from all the nonsense he was doing, just falling down and acting like he was challenged roughly. I don't know if this guy thinks he's still playing in the La Liga or something. So yeah, special shouts out to Rice, who is my man of the match. And yeah, that's really about it. So big ups to the Gunners. One more game to go. If God willing, the Arsenal are declared champions tomorrow. The Arsenal are declared champions tomorrow, God willing. So we would have to wait and see on that. But until then, please like the video. You guys are not liking the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep it locked. Until next time, peace.